Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Season 2 of the Studs podcast. First recording since I think June or July. Hope everyone is doing well. We got Louie back in his room. What's going on, Louie?
Not much, man. Summer's over, so looking to see post election what happens. You know,
Yes, definitely be interesting. And then we got Will Winfield, LaSalle football coach, supporter. He is he. If you ever need support from someone, he is your guy. It's amazing the amount of support he's given us. He gives everything. He gives everything. I mean, he's just a man. Will, thank you for joining us. How you doing?
Well, it's not too bad. Not too bad, guys. Thanks for having me.
The only thing I don't like about Will is that he's a Raiders fan.
Oh, and
So
Lakers.
yeah, and Lakers. So, but we'll
him and Frank would get along just fine.
yeah, him and Frank. We gotta get Frank on here. We have a buddy Frank that we play ball with. Shout out to Frank Delfuso. Big Raiders fan. Oh, you would love him. Oh my God. Now let me ask you this though. Are you a Raiders fan that hates Tom Brady or do you respect Tom Brady?
I hate the hell out of him.
Dude, everyone does, huh? Except the Tucker rule.
Oh.
Hey, but you know what too? I hate him now too. So I guess we're all in the same boat.
We got them week 6.
Do you? I'll destroy it. I think you will. I think you will. Anyway, we're going to talk about a few things today. We're going to save some of the sports takes for later. We're going to talk Patriots, Raiders, and then we'll definitely discuss some Celtics and our hatred for them right now. But other than that, a special guest, Will, today, high school football coach. I know maybe we'll dive into some of the youth football as well, but what's going on with high school football right now in Rhode Island with COVID and everything? What's happening?
So basically, right now we're completely shut down. They opened fall sports back up, but football wasn't one of them, just because we're the most contact, most physical. But soccer's being played, which we still don't get. I mean, they had a race yesterday with cross country where you had to wear your mask the whole race. And if you separate, you could take your mask off. So like some of the guidelines just don't make sense. So, like I don't follow soccer too much. Like the goalies wear gloves. That's it. There's no more picking the ball up. The ref spots the ball. You got to kick it in. You can't throw the ball in. So the rules in soccer, gonna be. I mean, the score's gonna be high teens with the way it is, with no contact at all. But in football, we couldn't do it. We practiced all summer long, and they finally shut us down. But then they said in 2 weeks we could stop practicing. But the kids have to wear masks the whole time. We have to stay in our pods, so we have to be in the pods the whole time. It's tough to run an offense when I'm working with running backs and receivers. The offensive linemen are on a different pod, the quarterbacks are on another pod, and they're getting to work together. So they're hopeful for the springtime, but I mean, we're optimistic, but we don't know. We had a rally a couple weeks back. We have another rally at the State House on the 29th to try to get people out there to see if they'll support it and bring it back. I mean, they're doing it in college, they're doing it in the NFL, and they said they have daily testing, weekly testing, and that's something that would never happen on the high school level. But I mean, you're in the classroom. A lot of seniors, I mean, they need to play right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you look at Quiddy Pay's life out of Hendricken. He wasn't highly recruited. He had a breakout junior year. He gets recruited by Michigan. Now he's going to Michigan. He's going to be a top 15 pick next year in the draft. It's all because what happened his junior year in high school football in Rhode Island. And now Jason Only over at Hendricken, he's going to Notre Dame. And it's all about what you do your junior and senior year. And these kids got a chance to play. There's a lot of talent in Rhode Island. I know Rhode Island gets overlooked for football all the time. There hasn't been a player draft from Rhode Island since Will Blackman, and that's been in 2002. So the talent's here. It's just a matter of how do you get it out there? How do you show the players? Like, you show them what you can do by playing. Like, the videotapes, the people are doing a lot of drills online and showing it. You have to have that actual game experience to show what you can do. It's tough. I mean, it's heartbreaking for these kids.
The biggest thing I think about too is, especially if they push it off to spring, you have these top recruits from Rhode Island. They have to go to spring. What happens with the college football season next year? They're going to play spring. Let's say something happens, an injury. They got less time to recover from it. And then if they stay healthy, they go to a college. They're playing again, in a matter of 2 months?
And
in a matter of a month?
Not only that, but a lot of other teams, like a lot of other states, they're all playing football.
Yeah.
So they're doing their recruiting now. So they'll be watching. They're gonna fill up all their spots. They're not gonna hold a spot for the teams playing in the spring. So a lot of people who are maybe D1 or D2, they're gonna fall down to D3, which I mean it's not a scholarship's a scholarship. So if
Mhm.
you take it, you get it. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a lot of transfers. Or a lot of people going to JUCO, or they're gonna reclassify. So you're gonna have a lot of players not entering college. They're just gonna reclassify, go JUCO, and they try to go that route.
Now, are other high schools in other states more lenient towards these COVID regulations, or is it just us because we're a blue state that they're kind of imposing these sort of regulations?
I mean, I'm not a big Gina fan, so some of her rules
Not many people are. It's all right.
they just don't make sense. And then when we hear the rules, so in New England alone, I mean, New Hampshire is the only state playing football right now.
Hmm.
And so when Governor Baker shut down Mass football, we knew Rhode Island was right behind because they almost have me. Rhode Island and Mass is pretty much the same thing.
Right.
In New Jersey, I mean, New Jersey and New York's the closest, and they're having full football. They have people in the stands, so the game's back. And down south, they're publicizing games on ESPN.
Mhm.
High school
Right, you're
football.
referencing cross country guys wearing masks and stuff. I haven't heard people doing that since like you see like Usain Bolt and some of those guys wearing gas masks to improve their
Yeah.
stamina. Are you day-to-day high school athletes doing that? That's I think that's a little over the top. I mean, personally, I don't know what you guys
Especially when you're outside.
Yeah.
I mean, come
pass
on.
out.
That's a
Like,
little ridiculous.
man.
Yeah, and you're gonna pass out. It's not healthy for you.
And then the thing about if you separate from somebody within 6 feet, you could take it off. It's you
Dude.
have to hold it in your hand and adjust every time someone's close.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, someone's right there. Oh, sorry. Here we go. Oh, he's gone. All right. I'm gonna take it off now. That's the thing is, it's like, I would. It would be more comprehensible if they just either didn't bring back anything or
Exactly.
brought back everything. It would be better. It would be more comprehensible. But to bring back only certain things when I mean, I think basketball is gonna play too, right?
Yes, basketball starts in
Like
November.
I know PC. In terms of college, I think the Big East is gonna come back. Um, but like, how you bring back soccer, basketball, where there is more contact than people want to believe there is,
Mhm.
and you won't bring back football. I mean, football.
Everyone's touching
You
the
got
ball in basketball. Everybody has
exactly,
their hand on the ball.
exactly. And in football, they actually wear headgear. They wear masks. They wear masks in football. Like so. You would
And the
think that you had,
padding, there's so much stuff.
yeah. It's either you bring back everything, or you don't bring back anything at all. Like don't you can't pick and choose, especially when soccer and basketball is all physical. I can understand baseball. Baseball is spread out, but I mean, you should be able to bring back everything
Even
or not bring back anything.
I mean, field hockey is being played, lacrosse is being played, and that's pure contact. And I know one of the big things they were saying about the amount of huddles in football, and you're being in small clusters. I'm like, when you're in baseball, you're in a dugout in between.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be in these small groups. I mean, we just have to go by their guidelines. I know in some places they're doing 7-on-7 football now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's been acceptable. You can do 7-on-7, but then the linemen don't get to work. So you have football, but it's not 7-on-7. It's not high school football.
No.
And then
No.
there's more and more high school flag football programs starting. So they're trying to get the kids out there doing something. But the kids want the actual game. They want the LaSalle versus Hendrick game. They want the East versus West. They want the Tome Shea games. They want those rivalry games,
Yeah.
especially for seniors.
What was it? What was the Johnston rivalry? Who did Johnston not like? I don't remember. Did they have any big rivals?
Maybe Shea.
Shea.
Hey,
That's really all I
Or
can
Smithfield.
He didn't like Shea.
Yeah, yeah. To bring it down to, because I know at youth, when I talked to a couple people a couple weeks ago, well, a football coach, I don't know if he was a rec football coach. I don't know how the youth leagues work, but in Warwick, they said they're going to do flag,
yeah.
especially for the younger kids.
Yeah,
And I
so,
know
yeah, so I run a flag football program through NFL Flag. We've been doing it for 5 years now. It's Next
Mhm.
Level Performance Academy. We're the largest flag football organization in Rhode Island, and we're one of the largest in New England. We started 6 years ago with about 200 kids. We have over 1,200 kids now in our league.
Wow.
and that's through 6 different sites in Rhode Island. We play at Brown Stadium, Johnson and Wales. We play in Bryant, Cranston West, Coventry. So we spread out, and we started booming right after the concussion movie hit, and all the parents started pulling their kids from tackle football.
Did you like that movie?
I think it was kind of. The statistics on it were like they weren't really out there yet, so I think if they waited a year, more stuff came out.
Yeah.
So you can actually hear. So a lot of people were watching the movie and trying to fact check everything. So you really kind of couldn't enjoy the movie. But I mean, I love Will Smith, but
Yeah.
not that one.
No.
But it helped our numbers, so I thank him for that. But our numbers went through the roof, and a
Mhm.
lot of people from Pop One and AYF, they were saying flag football is not real football. Flag football is not real football. And then now every organization has a flag football program starting up. And just our football program alone, I mean, flag football works. We've been training our kids for the last 6 years. And just last year, when they put out the All-State team, we had 9 kids from the All-State team that came to our program.
Wow.
And especially like the skill players, because it teaches you pure fundamentals. And I think it works for the youth level, but it don't work for high school level. Just for the fact that you tell a kid no contact, there's going to be contact.
What position do you think translates the best from a flag football position to contact sport?
Defensive back, cornerback, just because you're learning not to use your hands, and especially if you have a tight referee that he's calling all the contact, you're learning at a young age not to use your hands and just play the ball, and just to break down. If the guy gets in an open field, you can break down, square up, watch their hips. You're always telling your kids, watch the flag belt, not the ball, or watch the flag belt, not his waist. So wherever the flag belt goes, that's where it goes. It's the same with tackle. But at the same time, if you go take those fundamentals from flag and you don't have that aggressiveness in tackle, you're gonna get lit up. So you have to have a little bit of both. And at the same time, I mean, speed kills. So if you're a fast receiver, you can play anything. You can play flag or tackle.
Would you also say too, quarterback can definitely translate well, or
I mean, quarterback's tough because in flag, a lot of it's more motion offense, and it's a lot of like getting the ball short in open field. So you'll have a lot of screens where it's one-on-one. Because in flag, you have a 3-second rush.
Mhm.
So like the quarterback has 3 seconds to get rid of the ball. So if you have 3 seconds and you don't have skilled receivers, definitely a quarterback's better. Well, you throw actual tackle. We have a kid in our flag program. It's probably one of the better flag quarterbacks. He's afraid of getting hit. So he has happy feet back there when it comes to tackle. So it's a different mindset playing quarterback and flag and tackle, knowing you can get hit. I mean, if you can throw a ball, you can throw a ball. But definitely speed and flag is the key for those.
what restrictions are now being placed on flag?
Oh man. So now every team has to have their own ball. And yeah. We had a meeting with the CDC and they were going over the guidelines. And some of them just don't. So every possession you have to spray the ball down. And so with flag, you start at the 5-yard line. You have 4 plays to get to the 50-yard line. If you get a first down, you get 4 more. Change the possession, you have to spray the ball down. Then the other teams bring the ball in. On an interception, you have to spray the ball, get a new ball, bring that ball in. The refs can't touch the ball. So the offense has to spot the ball every play. And then the refs have to use electronic whistles. So the refs have to have their mask on. And they have to use electronic whistles so there's no saliva being sprayed out.
Jeez.
And the parents can't be at the field, so the parents have to be at in the stadium. So we'll be playing our games at Cranston Stadium on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So the parents aren't allowed in the field. Each age group comes in. Nobody from the next age group can come in, so everyone's gone. So it's definitely gonna be. And we start this Sunday. It's gonna be a trial period and a tough time to adjust to. But whatever we can do to get the kids out there playing, so they have some kind of outlet to run around.
What do you think I mean, I'm not trying to compare, but like when you look at like the NFL, I mean, watching the games, and I know it's completely different level with high school and youth, but like, what do you think the energy is going to be like? Like, do you think like it might take a little adjustment, but like watching the first NFL game, the Patriots game, I really could not tell there was no fans there. I couldn't tell. It looked like the same product. Like, do you think maybe after the first week that it'll go back to the same type of energy after getting used to it? Or do you think it'll just changes everything with all these precautions?
I think these kids have so much bottled energy in them. You can't contain that.
Mm.
I think it's gonna be the toughest part is gonna be telling the kids watch with the contact. But after a while, I mean, it's gonna be so hard because we have high school referees who ref all our games. So part of our programs, we have the kids come through, they ref the games, and it's called a Steps to Success program. So for every year that they help us and they referee, they get credits that we use, and we give them money for college books, college laptops, whatever they need. So high school refs are like, so coach, what happens if they accidentally block? Was that a penalty? I'm like, no. He goes, we said no contact, so you can't contain these kids who've been cooped up. It's their first time playing the game.
Hmm.
We have to do the best we can, but we don't have rapid testing, so
No.
yeah. And we've had a lot of parents who opted out, said they don't want their kids playing because they don't know what the other families are doing, and we have no control over that. So if you trust the program, you trust it, bring your kids out. If not, your kids are gonna have contact with other kids. There's no way around
It's
it.
gonna happen.
Like I went to pick my son up yesterday. My son's in third grade, and I went to pick him up early. He was having gym class. All the kids were in the square doing push-ups, jumping jacks, and sit-ups. I'm like, it's gym, but it's not. I mean, I'm glad they're outside and they're moving, but that's not old school gym when you're running around, you're playing tag, you're interacting with kids. They can't even have balls in gym class because other kids touch them.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what that would be like, man. Growing up, I had all that. I know Mike had all that. I'm sure you had all that as well. So, like, just unreal stuff.
The sad thing is too, it's like we're in contact with people every day. Like just going to the store, just going. I mean, oh, working in the hospital now, it's like I'm in contact. You're literally we're in contact with people every single day, and to take things away like that you've been so used to, and I hope it goes away soon. And I think after November 2nd, we'll see what happens. But I think that'll definitely be a big. Uh, maybe change of direction with everything going on. It's sad, to take, especially for the high school kids.
Yeah.
I mean, this is their senior year. Last year, all these proms had to get canceled. All their dances, their sports. They can't make that up. What are you gonna graduations? What are you gonna extend their senior year? Like you can't do that. Then they're going to college. You can't do that. And then for these recruits that they're getting penalized now because they're not having a full. They might have maybe a modified senior year, or they might not have a season at all, and they're getting penalized in terms of recruitment for college because a college might say, oh, this kid played senior year and look at his stats, but they didn't have the opportunity to play. We got to go with the safe choice over here and take this kid who played, even though the other kid might have been 10 times better. It's sad.
You take a year off from anything, it's
Mhm.
gonna be a lot changes in a year. And we just look at the advancement in football alone, like what Cliff Kingsbury's doing in Arizona with that spread offense.
Yeah, with Kyle Murray. Yep.
Every year they're bringing new adjustments to the game.
Mhm.
So if you sit out for, say you've been working on drills, because you get slower every year. You're not playing actual game speed. The actual running routes with cornerbacks, the running routes worried about a middle linebacker coming over the middle, adjusting. Those are things you only get played in a game. You don't get those playing 7-on-7. You don't get those playing backyard football. You have to have that. So if I'm a scout in college and I'm watching a kid play a game, or I'm watching a kid run drills in his backyard, totally different experience.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 months even. I mean, if I went to go play basketball today, I don't know what I'd be.
My nephew
Just out of it.
My nephew plays basketball for East Providence right now, and they have the summer league over there. He normally does 5-on-5 full court. This summer they did 3-on-3 basketball.
Half court.
Half court, 3-on-3.
That's what you said at the rec center. It's like.
Yeah. I think they changed it now, but I think initially there was only 3-on-3 half court only.
Yeah, it's sad for these kids. It's sad because, like I was saying, that big senior year could really set their life up. In terms of, I'm just speaking in terms of sports, but I guess you can apply it to academic. Like that big senior year can set them up, for athletes potentially to earn millions down the road, go through college, be successful, and that's taken away. And another thing
what happens in November too. I mean,
it's
anything
exactly.
can happen. Anything can happen. Could be worse, could be better. We don't know.
Yep. But the thing you bring up too, like with Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona, the NFL gets everything from the college from college football. their offense, their defensive schemes, that translate. They get it from college. You don't see a lot of NFL offense and defense getting run in college. It's more of the college innovating it and the NFL taking it to the taking it to the NFL. So I mean, I think that definitely helps too. I mean, have you got to watch any college football
I mean,
this year at all?
most of the games. I mean, SEC starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I watched the SEC, but a lot of these. I mean, the Power Fives haven't really started. Notre Dame played one game, and then the next game got postponed. So I've seen a couple games here and there, but I'm waiting for the big boys to start playing.
Yeah.
And I think what they said, five of the top 7 players have already opted out. The top O lineman, the top D lineman, Chase over at LSU. So all the top players, and I'm surprised the quarterback at Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, is still playing. I figured he'd out.
Yeah. I mean,
I did see the quarterback from Miami. He looked pretty good. D'Eriq. He's pretty good.
Yeah, it'd be interesting too. It's like when it comes to college basketball too. Like, did you hear the idea that they wanted to do a 268 NCAA team tournament?
Yeah.
Like what? What? That I think that's all the top division, all the top conferences.
Yeah,
Stupid.
All the Power Fives get in, and you get losing your out. That's just that's not happening.
That's another thing too. Like PC last year, which is sad. PC was on a run.
Yeah.
At the end of that season, they looked great. And then, the lasting memory is watching. Was it Georgetown and was it DePaul or the first Big East the tournament game, and just seeing them come on the floor at halftime and canceling it. Like, back in March.
The NCAA is being played in Providence this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first 2 rounds will be in Providence.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. Any final thoughts on football and high school and youth?
I mean, anybody who gets a chance, if you get a chance to go watch Flag or whatever program you're in, even if it's not my program, just go out and support the kids, because I mean, these kids they like to be cheered on. They like to have fans out there. If you get a chance, you're driving by a park, you see some kids playing, if like them, just stop by for a little bit, watch them. And for all the kids out there, whoever listens, man, just keep chasing your dream, because I mean, I know everything right now is like scary. You don't really know what's going on, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Maybe not in November, not in January, but down the road, you got your whole life ahead of you. So just keep on balling wherever you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I did have one more question. Do you get any involvement from like the NFL, like players or coaches that help you at all ever, or?
Well, we're affiliated with NFL Flag, so we play in the Patriots region every year.
Yep, that's awesome.
Like we actually went down to the Dana-Farber Center. We played over there, so we've had experience playing out there, but never really direct involvement. Just because like the Patriots have, I want to say it's over 36 different organizations that they run through, and they're not directly affiliated with until one of the team wins, and then they have direct affiliation. But I mean, they'll send out like a tweet to everybody, but not direct, one-on-one or. But if it's coming from the Patriots, I don't want it anyway.
Come on.
You gotta take that off, man. I
don't know. What's what time? You guys start Sunday. What's your team's name?
Well, so the way the NFL Flag works is every team is a different NFL team.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we have 8 teams in each different age group. So you'll have like a Chargers team, and if you're the home or away, they get the reversible jerseys. So they flip them over, and they all have an NFL team. So it's kind of cool to see teams. Like you'll go out there, and there's 32 different NFL teams with players wearing all different jerseys. And I mean, the kids go out there, they just have fun. Just get out there in nice weather, fall times here.
love the reversible jerseys. Love the reversible jerseys.
Love those jerseys.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, no, that was definitely a great conversation. Let's move on. Let's get into Sunday's game. We'll stay on football. Patriots, Cam Newton Patriots versus the Derek Carr Raiders. Let me say this. I know you guys hate the Patriots. Shout out to Frank. He hates the Patriots. But the past 3-4 years, I literally have always said, Raiders in the playoffs AFC Championship, Patriots, Raiders. Like literally, I felt like the past couple of years they had good talent. With the Gruden, I thought the Gruden hiring was great. I thought I always believed in Derek Carr. I mean, his first year, that was the year he hurt his foot. Didn't he break his foot in the playoff game?
On Christmas Eve.
Yeah, he broke his foot. I mean, I I don't think they've been a terrible product. Like they haven't. Have they underachieved maybe a little bit, but I think they've been good. I mean, and this year they're coming in. I know they got a great offensive line. Uh, when Trent Brown wants to play, because he got paid, and when he wants to play, he'll play. He was great for the Patriots, though. I'll tell you that he was excellent that year. But that's because it was a contract year. And something about it, I still believe in Derek Carr. I think he can still make it happen.
I mean, people on sometimes they label him a game manager, and his job is not to turn the ball over. His job's not so. When he went on, we've got Henry Ruggs. Everyone's expecting this big explosive.
I picked him up in my fantasy football team yesterday.
Bad move.
He's on my bench. He's on my bench.
Yeah. On my bench. Like John Gruden's gonna line up with three tight ends and a fullback, 60% of the time. Get 3-4 yards a first down, 3-4 yards second down, get a first down, and then when those linebackers creep up, that's when you hit Darren Waller. He just wants to.
He's the most underrated tight end of the league.
Oh yeah, and his story.
That dude's a flat out baller. I seen him against the Saints.
His story's amazing.
His story's amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Was it alcohol or drugs? It was alcohol.
Alcohol and cocaine. Yeah. He was actually in the Hard Knocks when the Baltimore Ravens was on a couple of years back, and they delved into his story a little bit. But we know our defense can't stop anybody right now, so we have to be slow. We have to be slow and keep teams off the field.
Yeah.
But I think what gives us a shot with New England is the two things we can't stop is a tight end and a receiver out the backfield. And you guys really don't use either one of those. So, I mean, with Belichick,
well, yeah,
I'm gonna do something where Rex Burkhead's gonna have 10 catches for 150 yards out of nowhere. Yeah. That's just what Belichick does.
Well, yeah, that's why. I mean, it all depends on James White if he's playing Sunday.
Yeah,
his father.
Yeah.
So having White, if White's in the game, well, that's the thing too. Like I bagged on Sony Michel a lot, and it seems like I was right on that. I never liked Sony Michel, but like when he's out on the field, it's a run and play every single time. Mm-hmm. Now they got James White, hopefully who plays. Burkhead looked great last week. I'm hoping to get that kid Damian Harris back. I think he'll be back after week 4. But this week would be either a Burkhead or a James White week. And but the thing is, though, our defense couldn't stop crap last week. Russell Wilson's amazing. I mean, credit to him, but I mean, they could not stop anything last week. It was frustrating to watch. I think Seattle had 7 third downs the whole game. Like the least in the Belichick era. 7, they could not get the third down.
And they weren't running the ball at all.
No, it was all passing. All passing. And I give the secondary some sort of, I'll give them a little break because the front 7 of the Patriots is awful. It's not awful, but they get no pressure. And that's why I think Belichick fell short because with the Patriots, they've definitely exceeded. I think Newton has looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
I do. I was skeptical. I thought Stidham would be the starter. I was wrong on that because I thought Newton, being off for a year like that. But just watching him, it's been refreshing to watch a different style of offense. I think the Patriots are going to be a tough team.
It just shows. I mean, scouting sometimes in college to the NFL, it's totally different because everyone's saying that N'Keal Harry was better than DK Metcalf.
Oh,
and you can see that DK Metcalf is just something. I mean, every team.
How do you feel about that last play, Mike? That last play.
Well, Metcalf is a beast. I mean, that was I don't know. That's a whole nother. We could do a whole podcast on Belichick's drafting. Like literally, like he hasn't had a good draft since the. Actually, I think his last best pick, Isaiah Wynn, is still up in the air, but you could probably say it was Malcolm Mitchell. Oh, because he won us that Super Bowl. And then he had to retire because of knee issues. But like, he hasn't had a good draft in a long time. That last play I thought was terrible. I thought it was a terrible play call.
I mean, you can go to the well so many times with the same play. It's at some point. I mean, I think Julian Edelman as a slot receiver is muddying that goal line. When he runs that dig route to the outside, it was there all game. And I didn't even realize he's third in the NFL in receiving yards.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think he had 170 like last Sunday.
I think even Kim said those same exact words that you said, Will. Exactly. He went to the well with that play too many times. And does this speak volume on the fact that they just don't have that much receiving talent or even just talent on offense in general to go back to that play again, running it consistently? Do you think there's a lack of confidence in the offensive weapons that they do have?
I mean, at that point, as what Harry says, if you don't trust him with a jump ball or a fade to the corner, that's what if he's supposed to be an outside guy. That's where you go to him on second down, give him a ball up there, see if you can go get it. But they don't trust him.
I don't think they trust anyone in this offense yet. Other than Edelman, I think they ran that play, and it has worked. I think it was it has worked. But the fact that they only went into that play with one option, there was no audible. There was no audible for Cam to call. You could have ran a fake like that play with the fullback, scored a touchdown. That was beautiful. Why couldn't you do something like that? Have the run play be the first option, but have an audible set up just in case you see 20 all 11 defenders jamming the box, ready to stuff you. I think that was a terrible play call, and I think I agree with you. I think there is a certain level of trust because it is a new offense. Not to make excuses, but maybe they didn't have the offseason to really work, and I don't think they do. Maybe N'Keal Harry. I think N'Keal Harry played well on Sunday. I'm going to give him credit. I think that was his best game yet. And I think it definitely. I still think there's potential there, but I mean that's like talking the Celtics to a hero. They missed out on Metcalf.
Yeah.
And Michelle. I can't believe they still took Michelle at the 20. That was his blunders.
I think they need to use Julian Edelman the way the Rams use Cooper Kupp down in the goal line. He's their goal line target. Cooper Kupp opening it. He has like 3 or 4 pass touchdowns last year inside the 10. If you use Edelman the same way, I think Cam's first look is always the run. He's gonna get that 1-yard touchdown all the time.
The one thing I'll say about him too is it's Tom Brady. To me, say what you want. I think Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. Greatest winner, greatest quarterback of all time. We're not going to get into that argument, but I think he is. But I think last year compared to this year, I think there's more camaraderie with this team. Yeah. I think Brady was kind of done. He didn't want to work with Harry, so I think that kind of affected Harry as well. Harry had his faults of his own too, but I think you have a quarterback for the time being. I don't know how he might be in the future when he gets paid, but I think you have a quarterback for the time being that's willing to work with his receivers, willing to defend N'Keal Harry, willing to throw to that guy Bird, who I think is pretty solid. And Edelman seems to have built a trust with him as well. I think Edelman can work with any quarterback, but just having a different quarterback who's willing to work with the team was a big upgrade compared to Brady. In terms of that regard, I also think Newton's looked better than Brady the first 2 weeks. I think Brady's some of the balls Brady's thrown, they're weak, short. There was a pass I think it was Evans or some other guy. He threw like a yard short.
And Brady has far more weapons. I mean, that team is over.
Loaded.
OJ Howard's going to be a stud if he.
I wanted him on the Patriots.
I thought, with Belichick and Saban's connection, I thought he was going to grab him over there. He's another Alabama product.
He stinks as a drafter.
I think Damian Harris is going to be key if he comes back.
I think so too. Yeah, he started over Michelle.
No, he started
in college
over Jacobs.
And it was Michelle too. Why wasn't he Michelle's teammate?
Oh no, Michelle was Georgia. Yeah. Alabama.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yep.
Yeah, Michelle was with Todd Gurley and those guys over in Georgia.
That's right.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs was his third down back. And Damon Harris was power up the middle. He could catch out the backfield. He could make you miss. he's a complete back. It just he can't stay healthy.
No. That was the thing last year. It's like he popped in the preseason for us last year,
Yeah.
and then you never heard he puts him on the practice squad for the whole year. Like we could have.
You just like the rumors of Odell?
No.
No.
Would you? I couldn't hear you too well.
I'm sorry. You like the rumors of Odell Beckham going to New England?
I don't want him.
No.
I don't. I mean, he's talented. Maybe I don't know. I would take anything on this roster. They have $40 million in cap space. Well, I also too though looking at the game last week, the Patriots are way better than I thought they would be.
Yeah.
Like really, like that offense was firing last week. Imagine adding in maybe an Odell Beckham or maybe like someone like D.D. Westbrook.
Oh yeah.
From Jacksonville. I think he didn't play him the last 2 games, or adding even like maybe someone like an Allen Robinson.
Oh, that's oof.
Just
He's gonna cost you. He's gonna cost you though.
I know, but you know what? They have nothing right now. Imagine one more piece on offense, and imagine if they brought in Clowney for $15 million.
Did you take Robinson?
You're telling me Clowney wouldn't help on the defense?
Who was that?
Who would you guys rather take, Odell or Robinson? I would take Odell. I would take Odell personally.
I'd take Robinson.
I mean, I think depends on for the Patriots. I take Odell because you already have Edelman, and he's gonna stretch the field better. And Edelman and Robinson playing in the same team, it's just too much under the middle. But if as a Raider fan, I mean, I'd rather have Robinson. I think it just depends on the quarterback and the system. But Cam throwing a deep ball to Odell.
I mean, that would be awesome.
That'd be a problem. Then you have Edelman under the middle.
Well, you know what, too? It's like another thing is, too, with Odell, like, I think I have more of a belief that Belichick would be able to rein him in, especially with what he's done with Newton now. So maybe it does happen. I just don't think Belichick will do it because it probably costs him much.
I mean, I think they're.
But he gave up a 2nd-round pick for Sanu, so I don't know.
Yeah.
like, come on.
I think they're gonna sign somebody off the wire. I mean, if it's even if it's somebody like Delaney Walker who's still out there.
Yep, I would take
Delaney Walker or somebody who's just viable.
And the difference is too now. Again, back to Brady. You know, when you bring in someone like you might sign like an Ocho Cinco, or back then, or I can't think of any like other. You had like Demaryius Thomas.
Yeah.
They sign him in, and I think now you have a quarterback that will make Odell fit here, or make like a Delaney Walker fit here, where Brady probably he dropped 2 passes for Brady. Brady stopped looking at him, and then Demaryius Thomas is gone, traded to the Jets. Or Ocho Cinco has no part in the offense whatsoever years ago when he was still able to run and catch routes. So it's like I think Newton is willing to work with these guys, whether you add him in new, whether it's Odell, whether it's Robinson, whether it's Westbrook.
I mean, that's what happened with Ronald Jones with Tampa Bay last week. He fumbled the ball, and then took him out of the game, and Leonard Fournette carried the rest of the way.
Yeah, Brady loses trust too fast. Yeah. That's his one knock. I wanted to have some fun with you. Quick, I know you have to go in a couple minutes.
My wife left to pick my son up.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Yeah. Well, I pulled up the Raiders and Patriots schedules, and I want to kind of see where you have them. Where you have the Raiders going for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And then me and Louie will kind of do like the Patriots. So you got Patriots, right? So they're 2-0, right? 2-0 this year.
I know. I know. Vegas had them at 6.5. I took the over on that.
Yeah. All right, they're 2-0 right now.
Yeah.
So we have a all right, let's do it up. So I got the note. Raiders pay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, you're gonna take a win. Yeah, of course you are. All right, win. Bills Raiders.
Bills
at Raiders. Bills. All right. Raiders at Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't agree about the Bills pick.
No.
Something about Josh Allen.
I love Josh Allen.
I don't trust him.
I think he's a stud too.
Yeah.
I don't trust him.
Those mobile quarterbacks, they give us a problem. That's what those mobile and he could throw, and they got Stephon Diggs over there, John Brown. They got too much speed.
He is the white Cam Newton.
They do. I just don't think mentally. Like, I just don't trust them.
And that defense is for real.
I got more belief in your Raiders on that game. Buccaneers at Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah, that's what I want. Raiders at Browns. Raiders. Raiders at Chargers.
We'll split with those, so I'll give them that one.
Broncos at Raiders.
Raiders.
NLV, yeah.
Raiders.
Chiefs at Raiders.
We'll steal that one.
You'll steal it?
We'll steal it.
I think so. I don't think the Chiefs have looked too. I mean, they're starting off slow.
I mean, they're so scared. They turn it on when they want.
Of course. Yeah, they turn it on. They'll drop 4 touchdowns on you. And then Raiders at Falcons.
Raiders.
Yeah. Raiders at Jets. Raiders. I think the Jets take that one.
Oh, that.
I hate that trash. Colts at Raiders. Dumpster fire.
Colts.
Really?
Yeah, I love the Colts. I think the Colts are going to be in the AFC Championship.
Another thing with the quarterback, I don't trust Phillip Rivers.
I've seen Phillip Rivers for so long in the AFC West, and I think Michael Pittman, if he starts getting going, and depending on what happens with was it Paris Campbell, if he comes back by then.
Yeah.
And
that poor guy.
Him and T.Y. Hill haven't even connected yet. And Jonathan Taylor's a stud.
I think they got a great team. It's just a quarterback. It's just like I don't think of Phillip Rivers as a winner.
But see, I think that system, Jonathan Taylor's going to be the lead back, and he's going to be carrying that team. And Phillip Rivers can win with 200 yards passing.
Yeah. Yeah, the running game goes well. Yeah. Chargers at Raiders.
Raiders.
2 more games. Dolphins at Raiders.
Tank for Trevor. Raiders.
Hey, what if Tua is on at that time?
Oh, Fitz looked good last night.
Yeah. That's another thing too. It's like you got this guy doing all these endorsements. You got Tua doing all these commercials and stuff. I am still shocked that they haven't tried starting him yet, or even playing him a little bit yet. You're not going anywhere, Fitzpatrick.
They have no weapons. I think they're afraid of him getting more hurt out there.
Last one, Raiders at Broncos.
Raiders.
So you have them going 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You have 11 and 5. 11 and 4. So somewhere I'm off, but you have them at 11 wins.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Including the 2 already. So all right, let's do the Patriots. All right, Louie. All right, Patriots at Raiders at Patriots.
Patriots.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Oh my God.
I am. Patriots at Chiefs.
Taking Pats. Taking Pats on that one.
They're in Kansas City. I think. I'm gonna give them a win there. Broncos at Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah. 49ers at Patriots.
Niners.
If my boy Jimmy G is playing, he's going off on the Patriots.
Nick Mullins.
Yeah. No, forget. If it's Mullins, Patriots are gonna win. If it's Garoppolo, he's the guy. He should still be here. Patriots at Bills.
Bills.
I take the Patriots. Patriots at Jets.
Patriots.
I can't get over how bad the Jets are. Ravens at Patriots.
Go Pats.
I take them too. I think they're off. I think with Newton, it'll be a little bit better to counter Lamar Jackson this year.
Right.
In terms of offense, we'll see how the defense does.
I think great.
Yeah, I think they might be able to score just a little bit more, a little bit faster with this offense this year. Patriots at Texans.
Texans.
I'm giving the Patriots a win on that one. Texans are overrated. Cardinals at Patriots.
Patriots.
Cardinals. I like the Cardinals this year. Patriots at Chargers.
Patriots.
Yeah, I'll take that. Chargers suck. That new quarterback though looks good.
Oh, yeah.
Herbert, whatever his name is.
But Tyrod Taylor, what happened to him?
They said the doctor punctured his chest or whatever doing a shot.
That's one way to get the new quarterback in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Patriots at Rams.
Patriots.
Now think about this one because they're playing on 12-6. And then never mind. Don't think about it. Never mind. They're not moving anywhere. Yeah, I'll take the Patriots on that one. And then Patriots at Dolphins. Patriots. Bills at Patriots.
Going Pats.
Yeah, I'm gonna take them there too. And then final one, Jets at Patriots.
I think we lose the last one.
I do too. Yeah, I actually no, I don't. I think if Hoyer plays that game, I think if Stidham plays that game, they can beat the Jets no matter what. So we have them going. They're 1-1, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Louie's got them going 13-3. I got them going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm going 11-5. So same as the Raiders. So it looks like we'll be playing wild card.
Right? There's an extra wild card spot this year.
Yeah, it looks like Oakland and Patriots. That'd be fun.
Las Vegas Eagles.
Yeah, sorry. That's gonna take a little while. You like the move?
I love it.
Yeah.
I actually had tickets to the Bills game next weekend, and that's all shut down. So.
Oh, you were gonna go out to Las Vegas?
Yeah, I have friends who live out there. I mean,
that's awesome.
The flight, we didn't get the money back for the flight, but the game ticket, you get to use that for a future event.
That's cool.
But they don't say it's a future game. So basically you get to put that money back into Allegiant Stadium. So you get to spend that amount of money on anything at the stadium.
You go to any Raiders bars around here? I heard there's some Raiders bars.
No, I'm not a big bar guy for football games.
No, me neither. I'd rather watch it at home.
Yeah, I'll stay at home.
So I can yell and scream at the TV. That's my favorite.
I love the guy who gets excited in the first quarter of a game and cheering and celebrating in the first quarter. Like, yeah, I'm not. Only time I go is for the NCAA. Like, I'll go out to like Brass Monkey in Providence, or go to Snookers or somewhere watch because they have multiple TVs going on. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a good place.
Yeah, I got I hate getting asked to go over games. I want to watch the game downstairs, yell. I don't need to have people over to watch the game and get distracted. I just want to watch it.
Yeah,
it's like the Super Bowl. I don't go to a Super Bowl party unless the Patriots aren't in it.
You go watch a game and if someone wants to talk about how's work, how's the kid, I don't care about my son right now.
You know?
The Raiders are around.
I don't care about that crap.
Just let me dive right in like tonight.
Yep. That's it. Let's go. Let's do a little Celtics minute before we sign off. I just want to give the floor, Louie. I want to give you the floor.
You want to give me the floor?
I'm gonna give you. You just go off on. We'll talk about your Celtics, then I'm gonna share my thoughts, and then Will can say whatever he wants about them. About the Lakers.
Last game, it was a pretty disappointing game. I'm not gonna lie. Down 2-1, you'd expect your team hopefully to punch right back, but no, here we are, down 3-1. I would say, I don't know if it's anything specifically Miami's doing personally. They are running a lot of zone, and it seems like the Celtics struggle with the 3-2 or 2-3 zone. However they stack it up, either they play 3 top, 2 on the bottom, or they actually extend that zone to a 2-2-1 and kind of press them as well. It's giving them trouble. So Miami's wings like Jay Crowder, Jimmy Butler, Iguodala, those guys have been giving them some trouble. And the problem is with Miami is that they have so many shooters. So Jimmy's a capable shooter. He's not no marksman, but he can hit a clutch 3. Jay Crowder can hit 3s. Iguodala can hit 3s. You have Tyler Hero who dropped 37 last game. That should be criminal that you let a rookie drop 37 on you and Brad hadn't made any adjustment. I was waiting for Marcus Smart to be put on Tyler Hero. Did not happen. They had Kemba chasing him the whole time. Kemba's 5'10". Tyler Hero's 6'6". Of course he's going to shoot with the green light. Dude's not even in his face when he's shooting the ball. So adjustments got to be made there, clearly. We all could tell that. But letting Tyler Hero drop 37 is just criminal. You can't have that. You're not going to win the game. And the fact that they only lost by 3 is actually pretty crazy. But that's no knock on Tyler Hero. The dude can ball, man. But he can't be dropping 37 on you. That's more reflection on the Celtic defense. They need to be more intense. They need to have more ball pressure. They need to have more urgency. I feel like, I don't know if they're just tired or whatever the case may be. That 7-game series with Toronto maybe killed them. I'm not really too sure, but Game 5, I have them winning tonight. I have them playing balls to the wall. Because that last minute in that Game 4, they were playing very well. Their offense caught up, but that defense is a problem. Defense is a problem. And one more thing I would like to make, Jaylen Brown needs more touches. Jaylen Brown needs more touches. Every time he shot like I think 60 or 70% last game, somewhere around down the field. On the three balls, he was like 4 for 6 or 4 for 5. That dude needs the ball in his hands. He needs the ball in his hands. Tatum can't be just pounding it out, dribbling the ball. It's got to be a combination of Tatum and Brown. You got to find that right mix. If it's just Tatum, I don't think we win the series. But that's my take on it.
I have little questions. How many points you think Tatum and Brown got to score for these guys to win?
I think the key number is, I would say 57.
57?
Yeah. My big word for this team, that the big difference between them and Miami, there's one word, and that's leadership. Take a look at Miami. You got Pat Riley, who will make any move necessary to make his team a winner. Yep. I know he's dirty, but he'll make any. He's like the Godfather. He's a greasy guy, man. He's like Michael Corleone. He will make any deal and do anything to make his team better. Eric Spoelstra. I know I give a lot of credit to, having LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh for his 2 championships, but the way he was able to manage those egos, he's a great X's and O's coach, and he's a leader in that locker room.
Really underrated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, he's underrated, yeah. You look at that team. Yeah, they got a lot of they're a little reminiscent of like the Bridgie Celtics, with my boy Isaiah. I got the number 4 on the back. But like those Celtics teams didn't have leadership like this Heat team does. They have a champion in Andre Iguodala, 2-time champion or 3, however many he won. They have a champion. You have, Haslam, say what you want about him. He's a champion. He's a leader. You have Butler. And I say Butler because Butler doesn't need to take every shot in the game. He's acknowledged, I'm here to win. I don't need to be the star. I'm here to win. That's all that matters to me. If I'm taking 4 shots tonight, I'm taking 4 shots tonight. As long as we're winning. He's the
star that will accept scoring 12 points in a game. He don't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I think he used to.
Yeah.
I don't think he does anymore. They have the leadership there. Let's go to the Celtics. You have my 2 issues I have with this team are the 2 people at the top. Number 1, Danny Ainge. This guy has been treated like a god. And I think, before I continue, I think what he's done with this group, he's got a core that if they stay together and where they're at right now with Tatum, Brown, if you want to throw Smart in there, just Tatum and Brown alone, this is like a 15-year run, 10-year run. They're only 22 and 23 years old. I think he did a phenomenal job with those 2 players, and they're youthful. They're going to be here for a while. His lack of movement, though, to help this team, to get rid of any of his picks other than the Kyrie Irving deal, which now I would rate as a terrible deal. He got nothing. He literally got nothing out of that deal. Nothing at all. And he gave up a pick for that could have been used maybe on Sexton, where you didn't have to pay Kemba Walker $30 million a year, or maybe another better draft pick. His lack of movement, he couldn't even make a trade at the trade deadline. Imagine having someone, I'm just throwing names out there, like a Serge Ibaka, just off the bench. I know the money might be different, but let's just say having someone like a Serge Ibaka or another bench piece, where this bench is actually not playing too bad during the playoffs. Imagine having that extra added piece on this roster. Instead of having 3 first-round picks where you take Carson Edwards, who isn't even playing, Romeo Langford, who is injury-prone, and stinking Grant Williams, who I think has been playing well in his short time. You couldn't have traded that up to get Tyler Hero at 11 or 12, wherever he was taken. No, you had to keep those picks. You had to keep those picks. You had to keep them to get Carson Edwards and to get Romeo Langford. You had to keep those picks because he doesn't like to trade his picks. And that's what gets me mad. His last deadline deal, I think, was Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah.
4 years ago, 5 years
He's
ago.
been less ballsy. I think the two contracts the one contract I think is really killing him is that Kemba Walker deal. I think, I mean, I love the guy. He's a great guy, and I have nothing bad against him. I wouldn't know if I would consider him a leader though. Personally, I don't think he's the leader that Jimmy Butler is. I don't think he's the leader that LeBron is. I don't think he's the leader that even Kawhi is. I mean, I just think paying $35 million for a 5'10" point guard who is a very good player, but he's not worth that money. And I personally, when I see Malcolm Brogdon sign that 4 year, I don't know if it was like 25.
Imagine him on this team.
I would have taken him over Kemba any day of the week, personally. And maybe that's not even a great contract, but
I think Ainge needed to. Not thinking about it because last year left such a bad taste in Celtics fans' mouth because of Irving and not Horford, because of Irving. I think he wanted to make that splash, even though Kemba Walker is not a big splash. I think that was kind of a way like, all right, we're going to continue. We got good chemistry in this room. I would have rather kept any point guard in the Celtics system with Brad Stevens has grown, whether it was stinking Isaiah. You go back to Jordan Crawford. Jordan Crawford played so good in the first year with Brad Stevens. They got a first-round pick for him from the Warriors, a late first or second or early second-round pick for him. Like, they can get any play out of a point guard. This is not a point guard league anymore. This is a wings league. Tatum, Brown. And I always said that, build around them. But he's not building anything right now. He is not using anything. I don't know if it's a fair from other GMs that they're going to get fleeced, or he just wants to keep everyone and thinks and is scared to move Grant Williams or scared to, throw in stinking Gordon Hay or Romeo Langford in for a deal for a nice bench piece. You have an opportunity to win. It's not that you're not young. I mean, we're very young. We're still 23 and 22, our two main players. They're going to be stars. Don't tell me you want to stay young and can't trade for an older piece right now. Like an older bench piece. Trade those draft picks.
Brad Wanamaker is the oldest guy.
And he's not a champion. He's not a winner. And that's your leader, a guy who has not won anything. Has not won anything at all. And that's the difference between Miami. Miami's got 2 or 3 of those guys that have won something.
I don't know.
Say what you want about the Lakers. Say what you want about the Lakers, but I'd love to have Rondo on this team. I loved Rondo. I would love to have Rondo on the Celtics off the bench right now, or even starting if we didn't have Kemba.
You know what Rondo would do? He would push those guys. He would push Jalen, and he would push Jalen and Jason to be better players. Yep. Kemba doesn't really elevate his play to that point where it's like, all right, I don't know. When I see Rondo come in the game, he is a game changer, and especially when the competition's at its highest level, he shows up. He's there. Kemba, I've seen it here and there. I can't say his $35 million is justified. I would have rather paid Rondo $10 million a year for maybe 2 years and had that $30 million cap room where you could go spend money where you can get someone who can actually rebound the damn basketball, or play some defense or score off the bench like we need.
Yeah. I think Celtics are missing somebody like Morris or somebody like Glenn Davis. They're not the best player, but they had that dog in them. Where if Tyler Hero went to the basket, he would have got a technical foul, a flagrant foul.
They don't have that.
There's no nastiness. There's no nastiness.
Smart is a phony when it comes to nastiness. I think Smart plays his butt off, and I think we're here at this point because of Smart. I think Smart had a lot of big games during this playoffs, but he is not the initiator. He is not.
He needs some help. He can't be the only one. He can't be the only one.
Exactly, and that's why I put the blame on Ainge. Danny Ainge has not done a great job making this. This team should be in the finals this year. This team should be playing the Lakers in the finals. Whether or not they win, that's a different story. But it's a disappointment if they lose tonight against Miami, if they lose it all against Miami, and that's on him. That's on Danny Ainge. That his lack of making moves, his I don't know, his what's the word? His attraction towards keeping draft picks. Just keeping and hoarding it. Like they got Memphis's pick last year. If he takes that pick and drafts someone with it, instead of trading it and trying to get a piece to win now, because you could still win now and win in the future with this core. A lot of things about him must be questioned. Even not signing. you could have signed. How did Crawford play? I'm just using him as an example. Did he play well at all for Brooklyn? Oh, he got hurt, right? But you had a couple. You had a couple of these guys. You're telling me Isaiah Thomas, you couldn't have signed him to help you on the bench, to come in, maybe score 2 buckets, 3 buckets, be a good energy guy, good role model.
I don't think he's that same
did
guy.
Nothing.
I don't think he's that same guy.
I think Isaiah Thomas will ball out and he'll show energy. That's all I'm asking for right now. That's all I'm asking for. A leader. I think Isaiah Thomas.
That's what we're asking for the Celtics. That's what we're asking for the Celtics, because I feel like their body language
is terrible.
It's piss poor. I feel like it's Miami, just like like Miami's putting the pressure on them. Miami's and like you see like who's the more physical team. It's not the Celtics. It's not the Celtics.
There's no arguing with who's taking the last shot on Miami. If it's Hero taking the last shot, if it's Robinson, if it's Dragic, there's no arguing. With Boston, it's like, oh, how come you didn't give me the ball in that play? Or Tatum, how come you didn't give me the ball in that play? I had that shot. A Smart, look at me, I'm open for the three. Like,
the Tatum isolation needs to like get simmered down a little bit, and JB needs to get more touches. I've said it. JB needs to get more touches. How are you gonna get? You kind of made him. The zones made JB a spot up shooter. Just a spot up shooter, sit in the corner. I'm like, dude, you're way more talented than that. And I don't want Marcus Smart shooting mid-range contested shots in the zone. That's not what we need. Like, I don't know what Brad's gonna tell these guys, but
I was watching Game 3 and Gordon Dragic was playing Jaylen Brown. There's no way he settles for a jump shot there. You take Dragic to the basket every play.
Yeah.
I think,
who's that guy that's gonna tell him that? Who's that Kevin Garnett, a Draymond Green kind of guy? That's the guy we kind of need.
Do they have an assistant coach that's Verbo at all?
No.
Because I know with the Lakers, Jason Kidd's our coach.
Yeah, they don't have a player. They don't have a player on there. No.
They need somebody there like that has that leadership role that will actually tell them. I mean, you have a lot of veterans, but it's where like a lot of Celtics, when they leave Boston, they don't really have. I mean, they have media ties, but they don't go back. I never seen like a Celtics player go back there and really help out. But if Paul Pierce was actually around more, Paul Pierce will get into that team. I mean, he can like spark something there, but they need that guy that's gonna play on both sides. Like I think somebody like Drew Holiday, or even someone like Eric Bledsoe, somebody like that that's a dog on defense, runs an offense. Somebody that's because Marcus Smart, he does it here and there, but he's not the offensive guy.
No.
But he's good for what he's worth. His contract, it's such a great contract for what he's I think Drew Holiday would have been a perfect fit versus Kemba Walker. I'll tell you that much.
It all comes down to the leadership. There is no leadership on this team, and that brings up my next point. I think the second biggest problem on this team is Brad Stevens. I no longer believe Brad Stevens can win with this team. I think he is great for a team full of overachievers. He's great for a team like that. He's great for a college program. When it comes to handling talent, like I was telling to you off air, before we started recording. Last year, I did put a lot of blame on Kyrie. Like I don't like Kyrie Irving. I think he's an phenomenal player. I just didn't like him, and I maybe put 80% of the blame on Kyrie Irving. After this year, I'm lowering that to like 60%. I do not think Brad Stevens is a good leader, and I don't think I think he might be respected, maybe for his X's and O's skills that are shown to be overrated. I don't think he's the leader that'll take this team. And I know I bring up Doc Rivers. I know he's a choke artist, but a coach like that, a coach that can manage, and like you said, bringing in a player, maybe if it's Paul Pierce as an assistant coach, or bringing in like a Garnett or someone as an assistant coach that is leaders that Tatum and Brown can look up to and say, who's this stinking G. Willikers guy telling me when to take a shot or doing this or doing that? If it's, Doc Rivers, or if it's like even like I know Ty Lue's not the best, but like someone like that.
I would take Ty Lue.
Someone like that, someone who's a player. Like, I'll listen to Jason Kidd. I'll take, sure, all right. If Kidd's telling me to do, if Pierce is telling me, pull up, do this shot, I don't think there's a respect there for them, and I don't think Brad Stevens can handle a winning team. He couldn't handle it last year, and I know he had Kyrie, but I think a lot of it now falls on him. The sad part is I don't think Ainge will ever get rid of him unless they stink. They can be consistent and win 50 games a year. He's a regular season coach. He's not a playoff coach.
The Danny Ainge quote, I don't know if you saw it. I don't remember it word for word, but it was pretty interesting. He had words of frustration after Game 4.
Yeah, I have to look at it.
See if I can pull it up.
Even a guy like bringing over like Sam Cassell to coach that staff.
Well, yeah, he was on the 2017.
Yeah, exactly. You bring him back and you work with those young.
That's a good hire. That's a really good idea, actually.
There's something I think, I think what Ainge might be trying to do, and Stevens too, is it feels like they're trying to develop a program, kind of like, Belichick. Belichick developed a program. But here's the thing, that doesn't work in the NBA. It doesn't work in the NBA. It's a players' league. The NFL, you can have a great program. In college, you can have a great program and make anyone work. In the NBA, I think that's what he's trying to do. He's not trying to sacrifice any picks he wants to develop. He's wasting time.
I think the big difference between the two is in the NFL, you could bring a free agent over. If you don't work, you just cut ties with them. And you don't have that guaranteed money. So if you sign somebody, they don't work out, you release them. If Kimba don't work out, you can't release Kimba. He's due that money.
No. Yep. Yeah, it's definitely, there's a big leadership void, and I don't think Brad Stevens is a guy that can take him over. I'm looking, I literally have the Celtics championship 2008 picture. That team was filled with veterans. Now, they were an older team, but this team right now can win now. Tatum and Brown, I think, can take it and they can bring it to the finals. I really do think they can.
I'm not obsessed with the 3 or 4 wing lineup that they always throw out there.
No.
I'm not obsessed with it, man. Because where's the hierarchy, man? Everyone's got a role and they know what they got to do. You know what I mean? You're not gonna just throw 3 wings out there that all do the same thing. I mean, Hayward's not a marksman from 3. He's a guy that has the ball in his hands. Tatum is a guy who has the ball in his hands. JB can spot up and have the ball in his hands as well. So it's they all do the same thing. It's you gotta get some spot up shooters there. You gotta have people that do certain things well. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can have a bunch of guys doing the same thing, but it's a specialist versus someone who's an all around guy. You know what I mean? You need to have certain pieces going to certain holes, and I think Miami has that perfect combination. They got 2 sharpshooters. They got Harrow and they got Robinson. They don't need them to take the ball off the dribble. They don't need to. So they got Crowder, they got Butler, they got Dragic. Come on, man.
Who's the third best? Weapons. Who's the third best Celtic right now?
The third?
Yeah.
What was the question?
The third best Celtic.
Third best Celtic. Ooh.
I mean, it would probably.
Yeah, still.
See, for me, I would say Marcus Smart.
You could say Marcus Smart or Kemba Walker. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say probably Marcus Smart because Kemba disappeared from a lot of games this playoffs. It's crazy too. Look at the trade. I don't know what Miami traded for him. What was it? Justice Winslow, but great move trading for Andre Iguodala, and they got Crowder back too. Imagine if the Celtics made that move. I know we have plenty of wings, but just the leadership. There was a move that they made to bring leadership onto this team, and the Celtics haven't done it, and they refuse to do it.
Yeah, I get an immature vibe from this group. I won't lie to you. I do get an immature vibe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. They need a slap in the face.
They need some veteran guys in there. I think next year they will make that change. I feel like. We'll see what happens.
They need a slap in the face because Stevens isn't going to give that to them. Stevens ain't going to give that to them. But yeah, no, big game tonight. You think they're going to win? You have them winning?
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
I think they do come out and play. And that the last thing I'll say is, too, there is no pressure on Stevens to win tonight. You don't hear anything about Ainge saying, oh, Brad, if you don't win, you're done. No, he just got a contract extension. For however long he's here. There's no pressure on Ainge. There's no pressure on Stevens from anyone. And until that changes, I think we're going to be in the same boat. They're going to continue to do all the same things. There's no pressure on them because people think they're going to be here forever.
Celtics were projected 5th, though.
Huh?
Before the season even started, they weren't projected to make it this far. It was
Milwaukee. No, they did better. I think the bubble helped with that.
Yeah, no, it was what Philly. Philly was Philly was this big team with Horford and Tobias.
Yep.
That crapped the bed. And then you had Milwaukee was probably your second best team, followed by Toronto. Maybe Boston was your fourth, or Indiana. I don't know what they had, but they didn't have them projected too high. So to be here now, I guess I don't know. I don't think Danny's going to put Brad Stevens on the hot seat anytime soon.
No. I mean, I just pulled up something on here, like on deadline day, like some of the names that moved. D'Angelo Russell. All right. Andrew Wiggins. Andre Drummond was a piece that I wanted. I know he's young, but he's a big guy, and we don't have a big guy like that. Especially for what the Cavaliers gave up for him, it was nothing.
Ham and cheese sandwich.
Yeah, Clippers get Marcus Morris and Isaiah Thomas. I mean, I guess that really didn't work out for the Clippers, but Maurice Harkless. The Heat get Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Solomon Hill. Couple of James Ennis. Yeah, I don't care about him. But like all these names, that Robert Covington.
He would have been a nice piece.
Yeah, I mean Capella moved.
Was it Jordan Clarkson?
Yeah, Willie Cauley-Stein. How did he play for Dallas? I kind of lost track of him. I don't even know how he played.
I didn't know he was on Dallas.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. But like all those names that moved. I mean, and he did. Danny Ainge did nothing. He didn't even do anything in the buyout market. I just don't think there's any urgency for them, and I can see why, because it's a youthful team. But the door is wide open this year.
You know who I cringe who's out there? You know who I cringe every time I see you out there? Brad's gonna stop playing him. Semi Ojeleye.
Yeah, he does nothing.
Love of God, do not get him in a basketball game. I don't know why he's in there for 15 minutes in Game 4. I hope he doesn't see any game time. I also hope maybe Cantor gets a look too, because he gives you something on the offensive end. On the inside. And when they're playing that 2-3 zone, you need some big dude in the middle to kind of eat up some space. You know what I mean? If you have freaking Robert Williams posting up or like hanging around the block, what's that good for you? What's that? Or even Tice. Tice has not had a good series at all. I would like to see him benched personally. I would not like to see Tice out there. I'd rather have Robert Williams at Cantor.
They're too fast for Tice. I know when Ojeleye was coming out, they were calling him the Brazilian Draymond.
Oh my God! It's his adjustments. Brad Stevens has not done a great job coaching at all this playoffs. Even the Philly series, there were times in the Toronto series where it was horrendous. The offensive play calling, the rotations. He has not done a great job at all this year. I don't know. I don't think that's going to get any better. His rotations are terrible at times. His offense, the fourth quarter, they go ISO ball for the last 5-6 minutes every fourth quarter, and they never learn.
2-3 zone. That's what it is. Like me and you, we all played basketball. We've all played basketball. At 4 or 5 years old, we're learning what a 2-3 zone is. And you have to attack it in the middle. You have to get in the paint. You got to get in the paint. If you don't get in the paint, that's it. Like I don't know how. I mean, is it on Brad Stevens as much as it is on the players? I don't know.
I think Brad Stevens isn't getting to the players. So I think the players, Tatum sometimes will be like, yeah, I'm just going to do my own thing right now. Let's just do it. Brad might have called up a play to get to the basket, but no, they take it on their own hands. I don't think the respect
Tatum
is
should
as
be
high
posted
as it
up
should
on the free throw line. Tatum should be free throw line.
Both of them, Tatum and Brown, should be driving to the basket more than they do.
They should be playing the way Denver's doing with Jokic and put him at the foul line, cut back door, kick out. And you have someone with that motion offense. If you play that 2-3, you have your passer at the foul line. Somebody's cut to the basket. You got to get Iguodala or Crawford to double down, and that's when you send it down low.
And they don't do that.
And you got to make shots.
Shoot the three. Shoot the three. Shoot the three. Yeah, he's. I really don't think he's the right coach anymore. Maybe. I'm not saying fire him, because I mean there isn't a lot of great coaches you can go hire. But, I mean, some sort of – you brought Paul Pierce. Hey, Will.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Will? You brought up Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was a guy you wanted to give the ball to at the end of the game. Who's that guy right now? Tatum is the closest one. But Pierce isn't, stepping back and taking contested threes over two people. Pierce will drive to the lane – then step back, take a nice midi, or get to the basket.
Tatum's got to play better. He knows it. He said it last game. He knows he's got to be a lot better. Yeah. That's it. He's got to play better.
Tatum tries to draw into that Kobe step back one too many times. I mean, when it's working, but it's not always on.
Yep. Yeah, the only positive I can take from this is they're still young. They're very young. I mean, I'm just talking about the main core, Tatum and Brown. If you want to throw Smart in there, they're young. But at the same time, there's opportunities here for them. Even last year with the talent they had on that team, and Brad could not make it work. I know Kyrie Irving's a special case, but they could not make it work. There's some and then Game 7. I mean, let's not forget that 2 years ago. Brad Stevens did not make the right play calls at the end of that game. Tatum took 4 shots in that fourth quarter. He was their best scorer. Instead, they let Marcus Morris shoot 15 threes, and he's missing all of them. I think Brad can choke. And his play calling in the big moments are not right. And I think they could definitely use some leadership, like a Paul Pierce on the bench or someone else on the bench to help.
One thing that might be tough with them is with the whole everything that's happened with COVID, the salary cap's going to change a lot. And we're having Jaylen Brown's deal, Hayward's deal, now Marcus Smart, Kimba's deal. Will they have enough money for
They're
Tatum?
strapped. That's the thing, too.
Because, I mean,
I think they have the bird rights for him.
Yeah, they don't have it now, but then once that's up, is he going to be signed there? They're going to have to move Hayward or Kimba in 2 years for both.
Yep.
I think Kemba's a movable contract.
Yeah.
I do think he's a movable contract. He might be on the move. Seeing how this year plays out.
I'd move sticking Hayward for a second-round pick. I'd let someone take that seriously. I would, or I would get him out. I mean, I like him. I would trade him for a second-round pick tomorrow. I don't care what you get for him. Give us a couple low bench pieces for him and
maybe Jeremy Grant from the Nuggets.
Seriously, they talked. I saw a rumor that Houston's interested in Hayward, and they would want to trade us like Covington, Eric Gordon.
Hell yeah!
I would do that.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
Completely.
Give me Covington.
Yep. Completely. But it's Brad Stevens' son.
Yeah.
As Brad's guy.
Golden boy. Yeah. We'll see what happens.
But anyway, any final thoughts on the Celtics at all? Anything else you guys want to cover?
Better win tonight. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Keep it alive, one game at a time. I still believe in this team. Backs against the wall. I think they will play hard. If they just lie down, I'll be really surprised. This isn't last year's team. So.
I think they don't have they have hustle in them. They do. Any thoughts on the Lakers before we go?
Light work. we had to give them one. I think Denver's a scary team. I think Porter Jr. is going to be a problem in like 2 years. I think Denver's a weird fit for him. He fell to him. I mean, and Murray. I think Murray's outproven. He's a top probably 15 to 20 range player. He can get buckets whenever he wants. But I mean, those small guards, they give the Lakers so much problems. That's why I'm thinking that he's going to get his points, and Jokic and AD going to watch each other out. And if the other guys can't hit shots, we got it. I think we got them next game.
You think Bradley's been a big loss this playoffs?
Oh God, yeah, he would have been locking up Dame Lillard in the first round, Harden in the second, now him. I mean, I respect his decision and all, but I mean, I used to hate Avery Bradley on the Celtics when him, God, and Kobe. That's another player. I mean, he's retired now, but if you had Tony Allen, oh my God.
Yeah.
Tony, I used to hate Tony Allen.
I love him.
Tony Allen and Avery Bradley. Avery Bradley, he play lock-up defense, and he can hit the shot. Like Danny, what's his KCP? I'm so sick of KCP. He's getting $16 million a year. I don't know what it's for.
What does Alex Caruso contribute?
What
does he do?
That's that guy. We love
Caruso.
We love him in Lakerland. That's all it is.
It's like Semi Ojeleye. Like, what the heck does Caruso do? I have no clue. Like, what is he good at?
I think he's better than Semi Ojeleye.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, I don't even know what he's good at.
I mean,
throwing lobs.
He gets a couple passes here and there, but I mean, he's viable. And then Rondo's been clutch since he's come back.
He always is.
getting the ball out of LeBron's hand and LeBron playing without the ball has been key for us. And then AD being AD. I mean, I still say if we win the championship, AD is the MVP. They'll still probably give it to LeBron, but AD deserves it.
Yeah.
LeBron is a winner. LeBron's a winner. That team, I had them winning the championship this year, so my prediction is still true. Lakers are going to win it. That's coming from a Celtics fan, too.
When we did our mock playoff bracket, I had the Heat in the finals.
I did too. I had the Heat too.
I had the Heat taking down Milwaukee. I had the Celtics losing against Philly in the first round, but that changed. But I did have the Heat. I had
Simmons
Heat
was
Clippers.
hurt, too. Simmons was hurt.
I had Heat Clippers.
Yeah,
The Clippers choked. Wow.
I didn't want no part of the Clippers. I wanted no part of that.
I believed in Kawhi.
I believed in Kawhi, but not
George. Yeah.
That's what I didn't want him to begin with.
But like you look at that team though, like that bench, the way the team, like they have a very good team. I mean, their bench was deep. They made moves. That's something that Ainge hasn't done. They made moves to solidify their bench, and Ainge hasn't done that.
I mean, Denver still has Gary Harris, who's still.
And Denver too. Denver, yeah.
They have guys. Their bench is so deep. I mean, a couple of them will be free agents. I mean, even Bol when he comes along, when you throw Bol into that mix, if he actually puts some weight onto him, that team and Porter's coming off the bench, that team's gonna be a problem. I mean, Millsap's probably got 1 year left. Millsap's probably done after this year. He's been playing forever, but Jokic is proven he's probably a top 10 player. You have him and Murray together for a couple of years.
It's sad when you hear. It's sad when you hear for the last decade how many picks the Celtics have, the Treasure Cove, and how they're the next best thing. But yeah, in that time, Denver has built a great team. Toronto won a championship. The Lakers will always be good because they'll sign any big free agent that they can. And all these teams have surpassed the Celtics. Like it's sad.
It's the media hype too.
Yeah, sad. Sad to see Miami. I mean, but Miami came out of nowhere, got Jimmy Butler, and they're in it. But yet the Celtics were the next best team, and they still can because they got a very young core, a great young core. But they need some more moves.
That dog mentality, it's not there. I'm telling you.
Not yet. No.
Bunch of pretty boys versus, some dogs, some pit bulls,
Yep.
Miami have pit bulls.
I think they learned from Kyrie.
If Giannis leaves the East, I mean, it just was even more open. But the East is wide open right now. I mean, Miami will be around, but even Miami, a couple of those guys are free agents. And now they're talking about going after Oladipo. Somebody like him, I think he could ruin that team.
Or Giannis.
Oh, yeah, Giannis.
They talked about Giannis for him.
They said going to Miami, Dallas, or even Toronto. Wherever he goes, he'll just change anything.
I'd love to see the Celtics nab either Embiid or Giannis. I would love to see that. I doubt it would ever happen. That's my pipe dream. But, if we ever find a way to do that, sign me up.
No, he won't. He's going to continue building his college system. No.
He'll probably go get another point guard. Feel like Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yeah, they'll give Dinwiddie $35 million.
I will take Dinwiddie.
Hey, if they trade Kemba, I would sign Dinwiddie to he won't be that much money.
I mean, he wants out. He's playing behind Kyrie now, so he wants out. It'll be a decent move to go after.
You have to watch for them too next year. See how they do, Brooklyn. I mean, see how well Durant. Yep, that's a good hire.
Steve Nash, good hire.
You like the Nash hire?
I love Nash hire.
I don't know.
I mean, I just like because he's player relatable and he has ties with KD, and that's the thing. You want to make your superstar happy, but I mean, the other coaches out there, a lot of people saying that they should have gave different people opportunity, but if KD wanted him, you make your star player happy, and that's the way you make KD stay.
Yep.
It all hinges on KD's health too.
Yeah.
And Kyrie's mental craziness.
I gotta just subtle jabs every time.
I hate him. I respect his talent. I wish it worked better. I did. I was excited for him, but he and that's another thing too. I like Horford. Like if Horford wasn't that much money, I mean Horford would be great on this team right now.
That's a terrible fit in Philly. I said that from the beginning.
It's a terrible contract too. Like I'm happy we didn't give him $100 million. but I wouldn't mind still having him on this team.
Like, what in God's green earth are you doing giving Al Horford $28 million a year? Like, what are you doing, man? Like, Elton Brand, bro, what is wrong with you? He's 34 years old or 35 now. I mean, like, come on, man.
Oh, he
For
stunk
4
as a
years?
player. He stinks as a GM.
Dude, at 39 years old, you're paying Al Horford $29 or $28 million a year. 39 years old.
That makes
And
the
you
Gordon Hayward
realize their
contract look so
success
much
was
better.
hinged on the shooters around Embiid and Simmons, right? I hope you guys know that. You had Redick, you had a bunch of those guys. I don't even
Butler.
remember. Ilyasova, like you
Yeah,
had guys
Butler.
that could just bang out and shoot threes. You don't have those guys anymore.
Covington was on that team, I think.
Covington,
Yeah, Harris.
I mean, they took Toronto to 7 games.
Yeah.
That team was perfect.
It's too bad. Yeah, no. Then they give Harris what $30 million a year, $35 million a year.
Yeah, you want to poop on Brett Brown, but I think Brand deserves more blame than Brown does, personally.
Brad,
Yeah.
Elton Brand deserves like.
Oh, Brand. Oh, yeah.
Elton Brand deserves more of the blame than Brown does. I'll be honest with you. That's how I see it.
Nope. Yeah, it's nuts.
That's all I got, man.
It's nuts. Any final thoughts on anything?
Real quick, I know I had mentioned to you before, and just a little thing on the military. I know, like right now, it's big with the military is suicide prevention, and there's a campaign going around about how every day 22 people in the military commit suicide every day. And it's a big push-up. A lot of people are doing the push-up challenge. We do 22 push-ups. There's different campaigns going on, and especially with like mental health, with everything with the corona, these kids being locked in, and there's really no outlets for people in the military when they get back home. I know when I got back home, it was like searching for outlets, and mine was coaching football just because I've done it prior. And a lot of times we see like homeless vets out there, and we just see them, and we're so afraid to like give a helping hand just because we're afraid of getting corona, we're afraid of whatever else. But just sometimes a thank you, or sometimes helping whatever way you can, carrying water bottles, carrying the snack you could pass them. My son's 8 years old, and he found a friend on the highway on the overpass in Johnston. We would carry snacks for him every day. We would give him a little change in a little bag we would give him. And then a couple of weeks back, we found out he finally got a job, and we finally seen the guy. He's doing a lot better. So it's just like giving him a smile sometimes the best thing you can give him, because and not just people coming back from the military, but just mental health in general. When these people, like everyone's being locked up with the virus, you're just stuck in your house. It gets draining after a while. And it's just finding good people that you can look at and you can get inspiration through. Like my son just went back to school in 3rd grade. He had to do like his highlight of his summer. And Mike, I gotta thank you, man, because one of the highlights was being on your podcast that you did. He thought he was a celebrity, and it's like finding inspiration and role models of people. Like I talk about Mike all the time, and talk about the Studs podcast, and I tell people to listen to it. I mean, some of the boy band stuff I disagree with, but I tell that's
gonna happen.
I talk about you guys like we're friends, and which is I feel you are, like I know you forever. I never even met you, Mike, and that's what it's all about. It's just being around good people, and especially with everything now. But you guys keep doing it up, and I appreciate the opportunity, and you guys keep giving back with your positive. Even like the Nugget Challenge you guys did. It's all about being around people who give back and positive energy. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, Will. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I'll never forget when you sent me that message. You were like, "Yeah, I've had you guys on shuffle all night long, listening to all your episodes." I'm like, "We really have a fan?" I'm like, what? And then you come to find out, there's been a few people who have been listening. They're like, "Oh, we listen to every episode." I'm like, "Wow!" And I'm like, our thing. I think we started was a quarantine. We started we talked about it for a little while, and quarantine happened, and I guess that was one of the good things to come out of the quarantine. We had time to do this, time to research, and having like I said when I introduced you, like I see you support everything. You support everyone, obviously for good cause. You don't support bad things. You support everything for other than the Raiders, but you support everything for good causes. And I mean, yeah, it's great to have people like that, people who appreciate others, appreciate what they do, are positive. Yeah, you definitely fit all that, and I see what you do for your son and for your family. And I love if you can share. I don't know if you can like have a link for like your like the for the suicide prevention, or if you have like a link for like to flag football. If there's ways that people can support it, I'd love to share it. And
Yeah, I get that too.
yeah,
Yeah,
Love to
that's
share.
the thing too. Giving someone hope is giving someone the world. And if someone loses all hope in the world, that's when things really go south. So it's good to put a smile on somebody's face and give somebody that hope, because that's what keeps us alive. Really, at the end of the day, is that hope things will get better. Because we're all gonna go through it.
And like, especially right now when everything's uncertain, you never know. Like, you never know what tomorrow's bringing. And like, especially you turn on the TV right now, every other commercial is political, or so you want to find like you want to shut the TV off and get out and do something. But then when you're stuck in your house and you can't, you need something that you could do. Like with me, I mean, I work the third shift, so I work the overnight, and I work in a grocery store, so I'm around
God
people all
bless
the
you.
time. And I'm around people all the time, and when I'm around customers, say people like you have that fear of this, you have the fear of that, and I really don't have the fear. Like I don't want to say like I'm not afraid of COVID. I mean, I just have that fear. I don't have a fear of not living. I just try to live my best every day and keep finding like positive people to be around, positive people to link to, because it's all you got to do is just find ways to give back and find ways to just encourage others and just keep on going on and find it being that light for people and being that role model for people like to have that positive outlet.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you back on.
Definitely.
Do it again. Maybe we'll have you on.
Post
we should
Raiders
let-
loss.
Yeah, we could do post Raiders loss show on Sunday when Newton throws for like 350 on you.
Done better.
And
And hopefully you guys make it to the finals in the NBA, but I doubt that one.
the Raiders will lose on Sunday, Louie, and somehow, some way, him and Frank will find a way to blame Tom Brady. it'll all come back to Tom Brady somehow, some way. It'll be Brady's fault. Brady wasn't there, so they couldn't lose. They couldn't win against. I don't know.
We can't blame the guy with the plow this time. Going on plowing the field for the field goal.
Oh my God!
I did before we wrap up, I did want to show off the T-shirt, the Celtics T-shirt. So it says the progress. So this is kind of
Work in progress.
So Sixers thing was trust the process. So this says the progress. So it's kind of a shot at fucking excuse my language, at Philly. But
Yeah, it should say no progress right now. They're in this series.
see, man, I'm rocking the shirt.
Hey, I'm rocking the guy they should have signed off the bench right here. Yeah, Thomas.
And I got
They should have brought back the mini MVP, man.
I got my dog's face on mine.
Oh, that's cool. It's blurred. I can't really see it. Yeah, it's still blurred.
That's my dog. He shoots like
That's
Marcus
cool.
Smart.
Yeah. Oh no, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, no, Will, thank you very much. That was really fun. Love to have you on again. We'll definitely do it again. And that is it. Well, thank you guys for any final thoughts, Louie? I know I keep saying it.
No, just roll with the
Good.
closed caption.
Good. Go Celtics tonight. I do think they will win. I think the Patriots will win on Sunday.
24-17 Raiders.
24-17 Patriots. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Anyway, check us out on Anchor platform, anchor.fm/studs podcast. You can make a donation if you'd like to, or just share our page, support. And we're also we have a couple other guests lined up for the next couple episodes. If you'd like to come on or promote a business, charity, whatever you want to do, talk sports, talk music. We'll be going back into some music later on. I just DJ'd a wedding that loved Phil Collins, so I was pumped. I got to play Phil Collins almost the whole night. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. This will be on YouTube and Spotify and everything else. So have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Celtics in 7, baby.
Celtics in 7.